We saw the trailer. Here he is. Give it up for Danny Trejo!
What's up, Manchester?
It's Danny Trejo. Danny, wonderful to have you with us. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Got fans like this. I'm awesome. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience to be in Manchester and this horror fest.
Oh, yeah. Now, speaking of horror, we were talking about films before, Danny, and one of the first horror films that I ever saw, somebody said to me, I'm going to let you see a film and I'm not going to tell you anything about it, and it was From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know what was going to happen in that film, ladies and gentlemen, and Danny, and all of a sudden, it went from this to, what the hell? And I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
What was it like to have been a part of that film?
You know, from Dusk to, I never read a script. You know, I just show up. And I showed up and okay, it's a gangster movie. You know, and all of a sudden everybody turned into vampires. And it was like a blast. It was like, you know, I mean, you know, Selma Hayek.
Are you referring to a specific scene by any chance? I think the other men might know what you're talking about, and most of the women.
What was funny is my son was in about the 4th grade, and he took my monologue from Dusk to Dawn and read it for show and tell, you know, so I got a call from a teacher saying, you know, I don't think it's appropriate for the 4th grade. And then I said, well, how'd he do? He great. I said, okay. Well.
No way. Did he tell you he was going to do it, or did he just go for do it?
I'd walk around the house saying my lines, you know, trying to remember my lines, and I'd walk up, and he picked them up right away, you know. So, but
awesome.
And then they saw the movie too. They were on the set with us, and you know, my kids kind of grew up knowing what you know, fake killing is and fake blood is, and so they were pretty. It was just a lot of fun. My daughter took a picture of me as a vampire and said, "This is my dad when he gets mad." So when I went to pick her up from school, everybody like just staring at me.
That's definitely one way to
But
get bullied, right?
if you look at it, Robert Rodriguez kind of started the vampire zombie craze. You know, if you look at From Dusk to Dawn, that's when everybody started doing zombie movies and vampire movies, you know, so we owe him a lot.
And I think it was just something completely different, wasn't it? Like, you know, you weren't expecting it. You were in it, and you were like, what? All of a sudden, this is, it was genius. I'm not just saying that. For me, it was one of the films. There was 2 films that changed the way I thought about films. It was From Dusk Till Dawn and The Matrix. And I mean, the directors that you have worked with, Danny, you have such a good relationship with Robert Rodriguez.
Second cousin.
I know, you found that out on Desperado, didn't you?
We were doing Desperado, and my family came down from Texas to visit me from San Antonio. We were in Acuña, Mexico. And my uncle said, hey, there's your cousin. And I went over, wow, Robert, all right. Well, make my part longer.
No way. But it's, I mean, the films that you've done with him since, like, we all love you for From Dusk Till Dawn. We all love you for Machete.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's seen Machete and Machete Kills, right?
All right, let's hear it for Machete.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So from Spy Kids to then the film that you did, Machete's very different.
Yeah.
So did you work with Robert on this?
I gotta tell you something. It's like, to me, acting or being an actor is just, it's like the same as being a plumber. You know, it's just a job. You know what your head does with it is up to you, but basically it's your job. And I went from being a Machete, baddest guy on the planet, to being Mark Brady. You know, and I was in the Muppets Most Wanted. And I was also, we did that in England, in London, the Muppets Most Wanted. And then, you know, so I'll do I'll do anything. You know, it's like painting a house. I'll paint your house, you know, and so I just have a lot of fun with it. You know, whatever I do.
Well, I remember, and I don't know if anybody else does, and I'm going to be showing my age here. I watched a certain Mr. Trejo in Baywatch many, many years ago.
Yeah.
I saw you get the kiss of life after you nearly drowned.
Yeah, that was awesome. Baywatch was an experience, you know.
And then you go on.
Damn, that's Baywatch. Whoa.
And then you go on to be one of the most coolest killers. Like, let's face it, some of the ways that you killed some of the people, I have to be really careful because there are some kids here, including my 13-month-old daughter, wherever she's just gone. But some of the ways, like, did you and Robert think, like the bit with the chap where you pull out and throw up to the
jump.
helicopter?
That was a surprise. You know, Robert, oh, have I got one for you? And all of a sudden I'm jumping out of a window holding onto a guy's guts, you know. That's a new one.
It's definitely interesting the way that you do killing it. But I mean, what do you think is part of the attraction that has made it like the cult film that it is?
You know what? It's like for me, as far as like, I love action movies. Don't take me to a drama because I'll ruin it for everybody. You know. And I'm that guy in the theater that in a drama I'll be going, oh God, oh now he's gonna kiss her, you know. And so I think maybe it's because I've never gotten the girl in a movie.
And then you have about 700 in Machete.
And you know, it's like I love action movies. You know, I don't like to be bored in a movie. You know, and movies that you gotta do too much thinking, I don't even want to watch. You know?
What about Machete Kills in Space?
You know what? Yeah, it's so funny. It's like I'm waiting for that. You know, and I keep telling Robert Rodriguez, look, we gotta do this. In fact, I think I'm gonna call him.
Are we filming this?
I'll call Robert.
Are we filming? Is somebody filming this?
And all of us yell, let's do Machete 3. Hold on.
Okay, it's Machete, right, for the third film, Machete Kills in Space. We have seen the trailer. If we get Robert Rodriguez on the phone now, when we say, Robert, here's why you need to do it, you need to scream like you ain't ever screamed before, okay?
Yeah.
If this works, this is gonna be epic.
Wait a minute, I'm screwed here.
I was not expecting this to
I
happen.
don't know how to use my own phone. Hey, Mary. Oh, wait, I almost had a contact.
Can you imagine how random this will be for poor Robert?
Got it, okay, hold on. And, what?
Put him on
I
loudspeaker.
am.
Tell them not to make a tannoy announcement, for God's sake.
Where's the speaker? Oh, here it is. Trying to call Robert Rodriguez. Hold on. What time is it in L.A.? I mean, in Texas, it's like 3. Good.
Can we leave a voicemail?
Yeah, we'll leave a voicemail.
In a world where Robert Rodriguez can't come to the phone, leave a message and he'll call you back. Rated R.
Robert Rodriguez, this is For the Love of Horror 2018. We are with Danny Trejo.
Hey, Robert, it's me. Here, this is from Manchester, England.
Robert,
They said, let's do Machete 3. Awesome.
now that was epic. If they do make it now, if Robert goes, do you know what, actually, yeah, can we all be extras?
Yeah, well, let's do it in Manchester, England now.
Yes, I am liking the sound of
You know what? Guy, I really want to thank you guys. I have had a great time so far, man. I mean, next is a Harley Davidson store because I have to pick up Harley Davidson shirts for my crew back in Los Angeles, you know. And so
Awesome.
we'll have Manchester, England Harley Davidson shirts.
Awesome. Now, I know that there's an awful lot of people who've come out here today, especially to see you, Danny. There must be some questions in the audience. Who wants to go first?
Ask me a question.
All right, Danny.
All right.
Out of all the movies that you've been in, all the roles and everything, which is the one role that sticks out the most to you as the most memorable?
Well, you know, I did a movie called Heat with Al Pacino and Val Kilmer and Robert De Niro, and I think that really woke me up to being like an actor. Like, wow, I'm a real actor now, you know. I mean, 'cause just being with those guys was a stamp of like, wow, you're a real actor, you know. And so I think that was one of the biggest, you know. Machete, like I said, I would have loved Machete even if I wasn't in it, you know what I mean? But that character just, people don't realize it, but the movie that really made me a household name all over the world was a movie called Spy Kids. You know? And I've heard, look, Mommy, the guy from Spy Kids in about 40 different languages.
And isn't your handler in Machete Kills the little girl from Spy Kids?
What?
Is the, you know, the handler that you have, the beauty queen pageant, the blonde lady, is that the girl from Spy Kids? I heard her, she grew up.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. No, the funny thing is she came because Daryl.
Shh.
Daryl, the little. Are you there? Daryl, the little boy, was in Machete. So Alexa came, Robert, come on, give me a role in Machete Kills. And Robert says, well, you know, it's kind of a grown-up movie. Robert, I'm 25 now. You know, we still seen her as like 12 years old, you know. And so, oh yeah, so they gave her a role in that, and she killed it. That little girl held her own with Sophia, with Lady Gaga, with Amber Heard. She held her own, you know, and held her own, and she was awesome in it too. Still my friend. She lives in Hawaii now and got a baby, and still working. Another question.
Hiya. I was just wondering if you were going to pop up in the Mayans MC?
Sorry, say that again.
Huh? The Mayans MC. I wonder if you're going to pop up in that at all. The TV show.
The V film,
Mayans. The Mayans MC.
the Mayan.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
sorry.
in the Mayans right now, they're just kind of laying the groundwork, and probably next season I'll end up being the dirty DEA agent again.
Oh,
you know?
that's going to be awesome. Great.
I'll be working with them.
That's great to hear. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Hi. Blood In, Blood Out is one of my favorite movies.
One of mine too.
Yeah, what was it like to work on that?
Well, Blood In, Blood Out, we went actually back to San Quentin. Well, I had been in San Quentin in my younger days, and so to go back there and to do Blood In, Blood Out, and to work in the same cell that I spent years in was kind of a shell shock. I don't. What do you call it? Post-traumatic stress syndrome or something, you know. And we were walking the yard with all the inmates and everything else, you know. So it was kind of a hell of an experience. And I love that movie.
Any more questions?
Hi, Danny.
Hi.
Hi. You've always had one of the best physiques on TV. One of the best physiques on TV with your muscles and everything like that. How hard was it to keep your body the way it was?
What was that? Thank you. I work out a lot. I walk. I lift weights, and I eat right. That's one of the reasons I got into the restaurant business. Is I was doing a movie called Badass, and one of the producers saw that I ate, real well, and I ordered good food, and he said, "Danny, why don't you open a restaurant?" Jokingly, I said, "Trejo's Tacos." And about 4 months later, 2 movies. We did Badass, Badass 2, and Badass on the Bayou. And he brought me a business plan. And me, being the brilliant businessman that I am, I handed the business plan to my secretary, Mary, and my agent, and said, "Check that out." And they said, "Hey, it's kind of a good deal for you. Somebody's not asking for 500,000, And we opened up our first restaurant 3 years ago, and we've got 6 restaurants and a donut shop, so we're doing pretty good.
Any more questions?
Hey Danny, welcome to England. We know
Thank
you're
you.
one of the best, most coolest movie stars. Who is your favorite co-star out of all the people you've acted with?
What do you think?
Sorry, who was your? Can you move the
Fav-
mic? Who was your
Favorite
favorite?
co-star?
Anybody who wants to work, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. What I mean? I'm not used to having a co-star, but I did a movie with it's called Granddaddy Daycare. It'll be coming out pretty soon. And my co-star was a guy named Reno Williams. I forgot what he was on something, but he was really easy to work with, And so people that are easy to work with, and people that aren't full of themselves, and people that know that, people that are grateful for being in this business, I love to work with.
Anybody got any more questions for Danny?
Hi, Danny. Can we see your iconic tattoo?
What?
Now, I know that somebody else has asked me if this will be possible. There's a lot of people here who very much like your tattoo. Would you be willing to show it to everybody?
You know what? I got to tell you this. There's a program called TMZ, and Harvey Levin is doing a show, and he asked me. He said, "Since you have the most famous tattoo in the world, would you be willing to come on my show?" And I said, "Absolutely." So,
Nikki, get ready.
yeah.
So we left Robert Rodriguez a voicemail, and Danny's got a little bit naked. This has been brilliant. Any more questions?
Hiya. Did you get to keep the head from Breaking Bad?
No, they owe me that head. They owe me the head. That doesn't sound good, but they. But anyway, they owe me that head, and what's his name from Con Air owes me the arm. So.
So you've obviously, you've done over like 300 films. You've done a lot of TV as well. What's been your favorite TV show that you've worked on?
I think Breaking Bad was one of them, and I just got. They just okayed a TV series with me and another female co-star. I don't know who, and it's called. Mary, what's it called? Oh, food and familia. That's right. The what you call them, the premise. Is that right? Yeah. The premise is, I get out of the penitentiary. I have a daughter. She's a single mother of a 10-year-old daughter, and my mother left us a house and a restaurant. And she hates me because I left her mother when she was 10. And she had adored me, right, up to the time she was 10. So now I come out of prison. She has a 10-year-old daughter. My daughter hates me, but her daughter adores me. So it's like this drama comedy, kind of drama comedy.
Is this the one that you're doing with Will Smith's producing?
What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, and who am I producing it with? Will Smith. Me and Will Smith are producing it. That's Mary. You might as well ask her the question. She knows all of it. I don't.
I read an article about that the other day. It sounds like it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And Will Smith and Danny
Yes, Will
working
Smith
together as
and I.
producing.
Will Smith and I are doing it.
Are there any more questions?
So you seem really laid back. Was acting always something you wanted to get into, or was there something beforehand? And if so, how hard was it to get into?
Did you say has acting been,
Always
because
been a
you seem
passion.
laid back, has it been difficult
So
to get into?
No, so you seem really laid back, but was acting something you always wanted to get into? And if so, how hard was it?
No, you know what? I was a drug counselor. I came out of the penitentiary in 1969. I dedicated my life to helping other people. I was a drug counselor. So I'm still a drug counselor. I work for Western Pacific MedCorp, and we detox heroin addicts. And in 1985, I was working with one kid, and he had called me up and just said he's having a lot of trouble. I went down to his job, and he was a PA on a movie called Runaway Train. And I walked onto this movie set, and I ran into a guy named Eddie Bunker, who I was in prison with. And we talked. He asked me if I was still boxing, and I said, no, I'm 40 years old. I don't want to get hit in the face anymore. And he said, we need somebody to train one of the actors how to box. And I said, what's it pay? Because they were going to give me $50 for acting like a convict as an extra, and he says it pays $320 a day. So I said, how bad do you want this guy beat up? And he said, no, you got to be careful because he's real high-strung. He might sock you. I said, for $320, give him a stick. Are you crazy? I've been beat up for free. I started training an actor named Eric Roberts how to box for the movie called Runaway Train. And the director was a director named Andrei Kodzelowski from Russia. And me and him got along great. Eric respected me, and because he'd never seen anything like me, first of all, but I was training him how to box. The director saw that he would do whatever I told him to do, so he hired me. And that's actually how I got into the movie. I got in the movie business.
I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I don't know how many of you know Danny's backstory, and I'm not going to get into it, but you are a real inspiration to a lot of people to prove that you can turn your life around, and you can be such an influence and an inspiration to people who are going through a bad time.
Let me tell you something. Your life, it doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you end. And honest to God, it's like my life started again in 1969 when I got out of the pen. It started again in 85 when I got into the film business. 4 years ago, like I said, we started a restaurant. I'm 74 years old, and we got 5 restaurants and a donut shop. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. It's like you just keep going.
You are a huge. I know a lot of people who've actually mentioned your name personally to me. This is before I ever got involved with anything like this, and said that you are a huge inspiration to them. So I know that you are to some of us as well. You know, it's.
People ask me, like, what do you do? Everybody that I know, all my friends, they all have like socks and thermal underwear in their trunk of the car to hand out to the homeless. We have dog food to hand out to people that own dogs. We work with autistic children. Well, any way you can. It's like, I think the good Lord, that's what he wants us to do, just help people. And the more we do it, the better we feel, so help somebody with every meal. That was a rap.
I can't take much more. Are you going to beatbox?
Hey, I actually started a record company called Trejo Music. We've got an album we're dropping next month, and I got to figure out how I can bring a concert of my singers to Manchester. So, that'd be great.
Okay, you can give a little bit more enthusiasm than that, bowlers. You've got a venue here, Danny, and you've got a lot of people out there who would absolutely love to see you come back. We've got time for one more question. Does anybody have anything? Speak now. Chap at the back.
Hiya, Danny.
Hello.
You mentioned music then. I remember a song called Cigarettes and Whiskey. Can you give us a bit of a song of that?
Sorry, what was...
Do you remember that you sang in a film once? Cigarettes and whiskey and wow, wow, women. Can I have a rendition, please?
Cigarettes and whiskey and wow,
wow, women. You'll drive me crazy. You'll drive me insane.
Yeah, that was...
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
That was epic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor to sit on the stage. He's been in more films than I've had hot dinners. He's an absolute inspiration to so many people for lots of other things that we won't get into right now, and he has entertained us for years. And we can only hope and pray, ladies and gentlemen, that Machete Kills in Space is going to come back because of us. Give it up for Danny Trejo!